Welcome everyone, my name is Michael. I am the person, for better or worse, who is responsible for how you're about to spend your next 30 minutes or so. So I guess I should start things off with a little bit of a disclaimer. As the title kind of alludes to, this is a spoof of the TV show Alone, and those other survival type shows. And the mockumentary part should give you a little bit of insight into the absolute nonsense that you are about to partake in. I want to start off with a statement that I am a huge fan of Alone, and although I may poke fun at some of the things they do on there, I am in no way, shape, or form making fun of them. I have a lot of respect and total admiration for the people who go out and do this type of stuff. It seems like you could drop them off in the middle of nowhere with a knife and a toothbrush and they would build like a 5-star hotel or something. But as I said before, I am a fan. In no way am I a real survivalist. This is entirely a spoof. It's self-financed, low budget. There's one person in charge of just about everything. That's me. I am a decent audio guy, so if there's criticism on how bad this sounds, I will accept that. Everything else is going to be amateur. Camera work, script writing, directing, editing, all that stuff, not a professional. My wife did make me promise not to get naked. So if you're into that sort of thing, you can follow the link down below to my OnlyFans page, and you can visit that and whatever people do there. So if you've made it this far and you haven't clicked off of it, chances are you're either really bored or you're a member of my family. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to say. Oh yes, pay attention to the captions. The captions are where some of the really funny stuff is. So with that being said, hope you enjoy this. So you want me to hold the sign here? Your left or my left? Oh, okay. So, this is Alone-ish. Oh, I can put the sign down now? Oh, okay. Do we need to start over? No, just keep going? Okay. So, this is Alone-ish. I am Michael. I don't know why they chose me for this, but hey, what the heck. Today is the long-awaited launch day. After weeks of intense training, they're going to finally drop each participant off in their respective locations. It was kind of weird. The production team didn't really allow us to mingle a whole lot. I've seen some behind-the-scenes footage from past seasons, and usually during the 2-week training session, the participants were all hanging out, having a good time, getting to know each other. But I guess this season they wanted to do it a little different, make it more of a competition, a little more intense, a little more competitive. No matter, I plan to win this thing. I'm a survivor. I will never tap out. They will have to drag me out of these woods kicking and screaming. In fact, before I left for this competition, I found the Q section in my dictionary. I ripped it out, so I don't even know the meaning of the word quit. I don't know why they chose me for this. I'm not really a survivalist type person. I mean, I like those TV shows and everything, but I've never been to any formal training. But they did mention something about we have to shoot our own videos and we have to work with our own equipment. And I have been to school for audio production engineering, so I do know proper miking technique. I can put a mic on a subject for TV or film, and it's almost indetectable from any camera angle. Is it just me, or was this all green not just a few hours ago? I think since they dropped me off, all the lush green forest foliage stuff is just gone. There's no signs of life, except for me. So I left most of my gear at what I'm referring to as base camp, and just kind of looking for something that says build here. I haven't seen any signs, but I'm going to continue looking for, something that just works for what I'm wanting. I figure I'd take a little rest and show you a few things that I'm carrying with me, because I heard it somewhere that the best survival gear is what you have on you when you need to survive. Currently, since I left my pack at the base camp, I'm carrying my hatchet, because you just never know when you might need a hatchet for chopping down a tree, or maybe even self-defense against a bear or something. I don't know. I am carrying my basic bushcraft knife. It does pretty much anything you would want it to do. I mean, it's just a good all-around utility knife. And speaking of utility knives, back here, I feel like Batman pulling stuff out of my utility belt. I have like a multi-tool, multi-knife thing. This was actually given to me by a friend of mine, and it has a whistle. It's got a little ferro rod on it too. You can see that. And basic saw blade, basic knife blade, and a few other little tools. It's even got a screwdriver. And of course, I have a legitimate multi-tool. It's nothing fancy, nothing elaborate, just plain, simple, basic. But that's what I'm carrying on me right now. Let's go see if we can find a decent place to sleep. So basically what we're looking for is a nice flat place, and this is what we're working with. We'll see. So, things you want to avoid. Sharp, pokey things. Not good. Okay, so the amateur might think, hey, here's a nice big sturdy tree. We could throw a couple of tarps over that and have ourselves a tent. The only problem is, if it's fell this far, chances are it's eventually going to finish falling the other way. You don't want to be underneath there when it does. So, big tree fall on you, bad. Let's keep looking for something else. Okay, I think this might have some promise right here. Let's take a better look. So I think I'm gonna go with this little trough here. Maybe put me a little lean-to up at the top, and I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But it's starting to lose daylight, so I need to do something quick. Hopefully this is not a mistake. Okay, so let me show you kind of what I got planned here. I've got this nice little trough. So I'm thinking I'm gonna build something really simple to just kind of lay down in there. And I'm gonna put some logs and some sticks over top of it to keep it semi-safe from predators. And then kind of up here between these two trees, I'm going to rig up a tarp, maybe like a little lean-to, enough room where I could set up and do some stuff. We'll see how this goes. Forgot to mention, in my back pocket I had a saw. It's not anything fancy, just a saw. So I'm going to see if I can cut through this and start making some progress. In the interest of time, I'm going to turn off the camera and just give you updates. Alright, we'll see how this goes. Okay, for those of you that don't believe me, I'm actually cutting a log with a handsaw. Trust me, nobody's in more disbelief than me. With a handsaw. So what I've got in mind here, let me kind of show you what I got going on. I took this little valley that I found and I put some large logs across it. I'm going to put some smaller sticks across that, cover it with debris so I can slide my legs down inside there and keep kind of warm at night, somewhat safe from predators. I'm going to stretch a tarp over the top of it to give me some shelter from the rain. We'll see how it goes. So here's what I've got so far. Big logs in place, smaller sticks over top of that, covered with debris, just large enough for me to stick my legs down in. So one of the most important skills in survival is knot tying. Knot tying is not a skill that I possess. I know how to tie a shoe, but other than that, it's pretty much it. Luckily, I have a friend who teaches Boy Scouts, and I went to him and asked him if he could teach me to tie a knot the way that he teaches his Boy Scouts. And this is what we came up with. You see, you got Mr. Rabbit here, and Mr. Rabbit needs a place to live. So Mr. Rabbit is going to dig himself a hole. So now Mr. Rabbit's got himself a hole. What if he wants to explore? Mr. Rabbit's going to come up out of his hole, and he's going to go around his tree, and he's going to get scared, and he's going to go back down through his hole. And voila, you got a knot. Who needs store-bought tip pegs? So now that we've got a little bit of a shelter built, it's time to start working on the fire pit. So what I'm trying to do is build a little pit here with like a little air intake. There's a name for it. I'm not exactly sure. I'll try and post it down in the captions. But let's get started. Well, ordinarily I wouldn't look twice at a worm as a potential food source, but in a survival situation, every calorie counts. So the fire pit's working kind of the way that I wanted it to. The only real problem that I'm seeing here is that my chimney and the duct tape are both flammable. I'm hoping they'll hold in place long enough for the clay to kind of get baked in there and dried. We'll see. But I wanted to give you guys a little insight as to how I start my fires. I would love to tell you that I'm rubbing two sticks together and making a friction fire, but it's too hard. And the ferro rod, Given enough time, I think I could get that to work, but again, too hard. So what I'm using are cotton balls soaked in petroleum jelly, wood shavings, and good old-fashioned matches. So one of the most important things about survival is you have to be aware of your surroundings. Constantly be on the lookout for something you can eat or something you can use. Foraging is a huge skill to possess, especially in a land so harsh as this. Oh look, I think I can eat that. It's a good sign. I think I hear running water. That's good. That means drinking water. Just gotta find where it's coming from. Well, the good news is I was able to find fresh drinking water. So the bad news about finding fresh water is I'm not the only one looking for it. I'm pretty sure this is bear scat. Smells like scat. It's pretty fresh too. So day one went pretty good. I was able to find a good place to set up shelter. Got a pretty good start on it. Fire pit's coming along. I was able to find fresh water. Really good. Was able to forage for a few things. Not anything great, but enough to say I had something to eat today. It's feeling really good. I think 75, 80 days is really a good possibility. It's on the table for right now. And I don't know, I'm pretty happy with how I've got everything set up here. I don't know, we'll see how day 2 goes. So one of the most important things in a survival situation is the acquisition of food. I'm going to attempt to build one of those bird trap things. I can't remember what the name of it is. Maybe we'll research it later and put that in the comments. But the first thing we're going to need is a bunch of sticks. So let's work on that. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to tie 2 sticks together like this. And we're going to cross them like this. Now what we're going to do, we're going to start adding sticks in and let the tension kind of hold them into place. Hopefully, if I do it right, it's going to turn into like a little bird cage. So we want to do, and when it's finished, it should look something like that. Let's go see if we can catch some dinner. Okay, so we're going to set up the bird trap now. What I'm going to do, I took my multi-tool and I cut me a little piece of wire. I'm going to wrap that around the base of this stick. This is going to be kind of our trigger. On the other end, we're going to need to put some bait. Luckily, I was digging, I found this little fella. That'll do just fine for bait. What little forest creature wouldn't want that? In fact, I haven't had breakfast. The forest creature doesn't need the whole thing. There. So we're going to take this and we're going to set up our bird trap. The bait in the middle. So when the animal comes in, grabs the bait, pulls the wire, trips the trap. Bada bing, bada boom, we've got food. Let's see how this works. Been a bear. They say you're always supposed to make noise. So luckily, I got a whistle. Hey bear! Hey bear! I think it ran off. I'll try and get some more sleep. So last night, I had a little bit of a scare. Heard some kind of an animal. I don't know what it was, but it sounded pretty big. I don't know. I don't want to say bear, but yeah, maybe it was a bear. Luckily, a friend of mine got me this little survival knife, and it has this little whistle on it. So I was able to do that and make some noise, and whatever it was, kind of scurried away. So I noticed yesterday there were some little squirrels running around this area. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set up a couple of snare traps along this little log, see if I can catch them. You gotta do what you gotta do for food. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if you can see this on camera or not, but these are like little snare wires. I got them lined up and down this pole. So what happens is, the squirrel comes scurrying around, he goes through there, he goes through and it gets snagged on his fur, it tightens up, he can't get away. That's food. We'll see how it works. So I'm getting pretty hungry. I don't know if I'm quite this hungry yet. Maybe tomorrow, but not today. Looks like we caught us a nugget. The nugget is pretty common. So you can find these all over the place. They're almost like pigeons. Interesting fact though, the nugget is not native to Tennessee. It's an invasive species. It's found all over the world now. It's kind of like the kudzu of the avian world. So I've reset the trap and I'm thinking about using one of the nuggets as bait. But then again, I am kind of hungry. The good thing about nuggets, you can eat them straight out of the wild. They don't even have to be cooked. I think there's a bear outside. Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely a bear. Hey bear! Hey bear! Oh yeah. They gave us bear deterrent. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Hey bear! Hey bear! Hey bear! I think he's gone. Probably won't get much sleep tonight. So, had a bit of a scary night last night. I'm not ashamed to admit I was more than just a little bit afraid. I was scared. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was big. I think it was a bear. I was luckily able to use the bear deterrent and scare it away, but I was really close to tapping out last night. I was really scared, but I knew that, if I made that call, it would take them so long to get here that whatever it was, and whatever was going to happen, it would have happened before they got here. So I think that's good incentive to start working on the shelter some more. Well, it ain't a squirrel, but I think it's edible. Not bad. So let's broach the subject of going number 2 in the woods. They just don't talk about it enough on these survival shows. I'm not going to go into great detail, but trust me, it's not as easy as you think. Definitely got something. Looks like one of those bird fillet sandwiches. They're awfully popular around these parts. Strangely enough, you can only get them 6 days a week. I don't know what day it is. I've kind of lost track. Today's really the first day that it kind of set in that I actually miss being around people. But I am definitely alone. So today it really hit me. I miss running water. I cannot even begin to tell you how bad I smell. I think they forgot about me. It seems like I've been out here forever. I haven't seen another human. I haven't seen any signs of life. I don't know. I really feel alone. Well, it has rained pretty much all night long. I am cold, I am wet, I am hungry, and this is just not fun anymore. I think I lasted longer than I thought I would. I accomplished some things that I wanted to accomplish. I proved some things to myself, but I think this is it for me. I think I'm done. So I think it's time for me to tap out. I really want to shower. I want a hot meal. I want to sleep in a real bed. So with great sadness, I have to do this. All right, boys, it's Michael. Come and get me. I'm done. I'm officially tapping out.